So today we're going to be doing a driving tour of Fort Walton Beach along 98. Let's get into it. What is going on? It is Andrew with the Emerald Group, and for those of you that watch our show, you'll probably notice that everything's kind of different here. That's because we're in the middle of moving, so bear with us for the next several videos as we are trying to figure out where we're going to shoot them, what we're going to do, all that good stuff. Nonetheless, today we're going to do a driving tour of Fort Walton Beach. Very excited to bring it to you. We're going to start on the east end and drive all the way west to right up to about Hurlburt Field, just technically Mary Esther. We'll stop it around that point and just kind of give you a little bit of tidbit as we go. Keep in mind, if you guys are not subscribed and you do want to know everything there is to know about the Fort Walton Beach and surrounding areas, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and tap that little bell so that you'll be notified every single time we do a new video. There are people reaching out to us left and right that want to move here to this area and the surrounding area. If that sounds like you, all of my information is on the screen, so call, text, email, send a carrier pigeon, paper airplane, whatever you want to do, send it my way and we'll get you covered. But for now, let's get into the driving tour. Let's jump in the Jeep. Starting off our tour here in downtown, real quick, we did have a video issue that I didn't have time to go back and get, so we missed a super small portion of downtown, but I do want to let you know we're going west headed east, so the water is on our left side where all that traffic is. This is the traffic we're always talking about on this channel. Like we always say, it's not that bad, but it is a little bit irritating, especially when you're a daily driver here. That's kind of the part that sucks. This is mid-August when I shot this. Actually, I think it might have been July, so I'm kind of talking over it right now. And so that's what the traffic looks like midsummer. And it's going to be like that until you get on Okaloosa Island. For those of you that do want to see the rest of downtown, we have an entire downtown video. We're going to throw it up in the cards up at the top right. You'll see a little notification pop up. Those are called cards. And it'll take you right to the video if you would like. You can right click it and open up in any tab so you can finish watching this one and go over there if you want. So you'll notice on the left side, this big building is called the Presidio. Absolutely beautiful condo complex. Overlooking the bay, a huge dock, multiple docks really, and they're just absolutely stunning. You'll see a bunch of condos on your, or a few condos on your left. There's not a whole lot of them. You're going to see some of the hotels on the right that they've, like that one we just passed, is fairly new. So as you can see, the traffic is thinned out on the left side, and that's kind of how it normally goes. This is actually supposed to be a 35-mile-an-hour zone. As you'll notice, we don't generally go 35. The traffic here, the traffic flow rather, is a little bit higher in certain areas. It probably shouldn't be, but they kind of leave us alone. You don't see too many people getting pulled over for it, as long as you're not going, too quick. That Soy Bistro on the left side, we just passed it. It was really good for sushi, things like that. Nice little spot. This is Highway 98. This is the one that everybody's talking about. You got Fountainhead on your left side. We've done a video on that if you want to check that out. It's something like the lowest priced waterfront community, something like that. That's where that's at, right off 98 here. So yeah, this is quote unquote the bloody 98, as a lot of people so affectionately call it. So you'll kind of see this entire going all the way into Hurlburt Field. On this left side, you can't really tell, but that batch of trees over there is a park, one that we did a video on a long time ago. Hopefully, we'll throw those up in the cards too. So if you want to kind of take a look at that. It's got dog friendly. There's a little area for dogs to go to the beach. It's actually on the sound, so it's not the beach as how a lot of people think with the waves and the white sands. It does have white sand, but it's not going to have the big waves. It's going to have real small waves. It is the sound, so that is the area between the barrier island and the mainland, or main Fort Walton Beach. So as you're seeing here, you'll start seeing some homes on the left side. They're tucked away in there pretty good. And then, of course, a bunch of homes on the right side as well. So a bunch of little neighborhoods kind of pocketed in and out of here. Then, of course, you'll see some commercial buildings come up. You've got a little liquor store over here on your left side. You've got Cash's Liquor is actually what it's called. They're pretty popular around here. There's a bunch of them. I don't think I've ever been in one, but they're definitely out there. The church on the right side. And then there's just a bunch of neighborhoods here that feed all the way into Hollywood Boulevard, a bunch of other named streets that if you're not from here, you probably don't know, but there's a whole bunch of them back here. So this is kind of nearing the end of Fort Walton Beach, Maine, as we would call it. So when we talk about Fort Walton Beach, we're generally talking about Fort Walton Beach, Mary Esther, and Shalimar, all kind of bundled in together. Unless, of course, we're specifically singling out Mary Esther or Shalimar. So this is actually Mary Esther cutoff coming up on our right past this CVS. This is where we're going to transition into Mary Esther. You've got the Mary Esther Mall up this road. This is a main road. This is where a lot of the restaurants are, especially for lunch. If you're one of those that like to dip out of the office to go to lunch in this area, there's a bunch of them down here. You've got just opened up a Chipotle, which is pretty exciting. So congratulations, we made it. We have a Chipotle. We're going big. And of course, there's two other burrito places on the same road, like less than half a mile from each other, that are very similar to Chipotle. The one is called Moe's. Another one is called Hothead Burritos. Some people love tacos and pizza. I love tacos and pizza too, but burritos are kind of my weakness, as you can tell. That's instantly where I went to. Got this cool doggy daycare right here on the right for those of you with pups. They take really good care of your dog. At least that's how it seems to me. And then we've got a school right here off to the right side. So in the mornings and in the afternoons when they're going in and letting out, going this direction is a little bit painful. Now, the school zone is very quick, but it does slow traffic down. We're not really seeing it here in this video per se. And then of course you've got the Target on your right side. I was trying to let him through, but apparently he didn't want to. You get Target right there on the right side, or Target, depending on how fancy you are. And we're definitely in Mary Esther at this point. So this is Mary Esther east of Hurlburt Field. So those of you that are going to be stationed at Hurlburt Field, if that's what's happening when you're with your move down here, this is what we mean by east of Hurlburt Field. It's very quick to get to everything, but you're about to run out of the housing zone here at approximately this light that is coming up. Oh, on the right side right there, really good Greek place. Yoda's is super good. There's another one in Mary Esther that just popped up that is really good too. It's actually an offshoot of another one called Aegean. So on the left is the Cedars. The Cedars condo complex should have been on my waterfront complex list. But it's kind of like we'll just call it the Wild West condo. It's not one I really wanted to showcase off too much. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing. The HOA doesn't seem like they really care, so it wasn't really in there. But great, inexpensive condos right there on the water, which is super cool. Then over on the left again, we've got houses, and we're just cruising right on through. This is the drive many people will be making if they're going to Hurlburt Field. And you can expect this kind of traffic. This is what it looks like. Probably until nighttime, really. And then it'll kind of slow down a little bit, around 9, 10 at night. And make it a nice, easy drive. The big problem with 98, and it's not necessarily a full problem, but it is a concern, but probably with good reason, is the speed limit. About the most it goes, I believe, is 55, at least through this area. So it does make it go a little bit slower. So we're kind of getting up to the end here. You're going to start seeing the trees on the right side open up here in about half a mile. And that's where you'll start seeing Hurlburt Field. There's actually a runway that's going directly from, well, it's all on the right side, but they come in landing from the left to the right. I used to remember the numbers of the runway and all that, but I don't anymore. So you see it clear up. That's on the right side. That's where the aircraft is that I used to fly. Well, they're not there anymore. They have variants of that aircraft, but it's super cool because as you're driving down here, you'll see planes flying right over you. It's a nice little view, but maybe that's just the old aircraft nerd in me, I really like it. And then this is essentially the end of the open portion of Hurlburt Field. We'll go back to all these trees, and then you'll see up here, you'll see a little bridge, which I'm so glad they made, because traffic used to be really, really bad going over this. But just for anybody making this commute, This side is generally pretty good. The other side's generally pretty good too, but every once in a while it gets backed up just a little bit. As you'll see, it's got a turn off right here on the right. And that's a turn you'd be going to get into the front gate of Hurlburt Field. So that's it. That's our drive. I want to thank everybody for watching, and if you haven't already, hit that like button. It really helps us out, helps the algorithm, helps us spread the word to more and more people that are trying to get out here, and that's what we're trying to do. We appreciate you guys. Thanks. See ya.